Hey y'all, welcome to my YouTube channel. So today's video is about Metro. And you're like, okay, you're doing a video about Metro, but why are you in the car? Okay, I at least wore my cherry blossom hoodie. You're getting that. But part of the reason I'm in my car is because I'm going to splice in one of the key moments that I've learned about Metro. And of course, this video is about what I've learned about Metro. Number one is that sometimes, depending on where you live, you still need a car. Now, I will say that I probably didn't need a car to come here. Yeah, that's the Best Buy at Potomac Yard. And in fact, let me show you some of life at Potomac Yard. So this has been a long time coming. I'm really excited to be right here. As you see now, we've made it to the point where we're right across the street from the station. Really excited about that. Already so many people have come through today. You know, as folks, dignitaries have said this morning, this day wasn't guaranteed to happen. Definitely not this fast. As I'm saying in like the newsletter today, the fact that we have this entrance more than one, it is a little bit further away from the target. Like Les is holding the camera here. The target's right behind us at this point. So it's going to be really interesting to see what happens to this area. We come here all the time. This is like kind of our secondary place to come when we have, you know, get necessities. So you can come along with us. We're gonna cross the street here. We're gonna walk in the station and hop on the train and do all those things. And I'll be sharing some more of my thoughts as well. All right, so we're right here where kind of the trains really are. We're quite a long walk, but we are here, and I can't help it. This is still so exciting. But yeah, just wanted to note for those of you watching the video exactly where the entrance pavilions are. That yeah, there's a good deal of walking, but there, as you saw before, there is an elevator and an escalator at either entrance. When we come back off the train, I'll show you a little bit of how it looks to go on this side, because I'll probably use this side a little bit more to go to Kaiser as well. Here we are. We have made it to the platform. I would say this has been about a 15-minute walk or so. We have been stopping and starting a little bit. I will try to time getting to and from the platform en route back to the camera. Enjoy this out. Yes, together on the platform. We have made it to the train. Train is coming in just a second. Gonna grab this little selfie, going to our little run to Huntington and back. And this is it. We're at the end of the ride. About to tap back out again. What'd you think of the ride?
Oh, the ride was fantastic. Smooth ride. This is a very spacious and great station. It's ADA, it's easy ADA accessibility. It's really great. Everyone, the team has been helpful. So shout out to WMATA, shout out to the city of Alexandria, and shout out to the regional partnerships that made this happen today. We have to continue to make sure that everyone can get to where they need to go efficiently and affordably.
So yeah, that's not so much something I've learned, but that is something that I've had an opportunity to do. I've been writing about this for years, And so on this video, I'm going to be real honest with you and sit in this car and tell you what I have learned about Metro and housing and their connectivity. So, number one, so this is the map. Don't we love this map? We love this map so much. We love Lance Wyman's map, and even though it's not exactly his full vision, he originally envisioned that the icons would be signal of where it is. He also had some more tea on his Instagram recently that said he wanted the silver line to be cherry blossom pink. So, you know, this could be branding. This could be a silver line advertisement, or this could be a blue line one, because this is kind of the Potomac Yard blue line. And of course, I'm buying the station. The other thing is, and I'll make this. Well, I was talking about the map. I will ramble, but yes, the map is great. The map is great. It's beautiful, and it makes you think that everything is so close, it's so connected, and yes, it is in a way that it isn't in other areas. This right here is an option. It's empty in the back. It's real tiny. I get that ride around in a little tiny car because sometimes I don't even need this car in the way that I did when I lived in North Carolina. And of course, part of the reason I'm doing these videos is because I'm reflecting on how my life has changed since I moved to DC. There will be possibly another series about and some deep dives on these things, but one of the things I've learned is, yes, this map is beautiful, but this map is deceiving. Let's talk about what the map really looks like. So this is the official version that comes from WMATA. This is the one that they put out, and in fact, in the description box and you have a link to the newsletter companion to this video. You also have a link to the WMATA map, where not only is this one, I got this one from the site, and this one down here, this link down here will show you this one, and you can play with it. You can click on it, and you can measure it. And if you see a name of a station that you're familiar with, or a place that you're considering looking into, you can dig into it. Now, I will say, because of course I opened up a little bit with some of that wonderful, beautiful bean footage from the opening day here at Potomac Yard, I was like, yeah, Potomac Yard is one of my favorite stations, period. And it's something I've written about. It is, as I said in the video, it is an opportunity. It is, and it almost didn't happen. Look at this article. I wrote this article in 2018 in my first tenure with DG Wash, and it wasn't guaranteed that it didn't happen. Now, I will say, I was wrong in saying that you can walk. It's better to just walk the Braddock Road without having more than one entrance. Now, we do have more than one entrance here, but actually the entrance is on the side that there was never going to be any sense in walking the Braddock Road. There is still quite a bit of distance. And now that when I wrote that article, I hadn't spent a lot of time over here. I kind of had a vision of this area, but it wasn't until I moved in with Les and we started coming here, because this is kind of our closest Michael's, Best Buy, Target, actually it's been the closest Target to both of our apartments together. It's still the closest Target, Michael's, Best Buy, all of this, literally all of this. Now that I live just on the other side of the river from this, at least as of right now, the recording of this video, yeah, this is the closest. So that's another thing. Sometimes, as much as I love this map, the reality is, let's talk about how many permutations Metro's gone through. Let's talk about that for many people, when it first opened in the 70s, this is what they had. And this is an image of a owner's manual that they produced to help you ride Metro. Yes, we needed something like that. We needed an owner's manual to ride Metro, apparently. It was a new concept, even though, and I can see that, DC, and in a later video in this series, I'll talk about how DC is in the South. Now, this is one case where us learning how to ride a subway is us in the South, even though we had streetcars. We totally had streetcars, and we had buses. But here's what Metro looked like for a good chunk of its time. And then, of course, and I'm going to link to this whole page where you can go through and watch Metro grow. But I wanted to highlight a couple versions of this David Alpert map from the GG Wash site. So, number one, here is the what Metro looked like the day I was born. So I was born exactly like roughly about 365 days later. You know, 84 was a leap year, so 85 was not. So roughly a year later, this is what it looked like. And then a year afterwards, I'll put this up here. As you see, it didn't grow that much. And as you see, what is missing? What line is missing? Can you gander a guess? Yeah, that is the other thing, the other big thing that I've learned about Metro, because the green line was missing for so long and because they took their time to build it right. But also, you know, this channel is called Defying Gentrification with Kristen Jeffers for a reason. This is why I do have skepticism that building houses alone without provision for the market-based pieces of house building will fix the situation. Because the premise of this building Metro like this was the idea that if you build it, they will come. If you build it, there will be more than enough houses that people can pay the market rate. And then the poor people will figure out what they need. And yeah, maybe we'll get them some jobs. Maybe we'll get them some better housing. Maybe we'll get them, we'll get them situated. Because, you know, we're going to plan from the ground up. And let me make it clear, you should absolutely be planning from the ground up. You should absolutely be practicing community planning. Those of you who are watching this and those of you who follow me because of my urban planning work, absolutely. The idea and the premise was great that they planned from the ground up and they planned for the community. Where did we go wrong? Where we went wrong was that I think if Metro had been built with healing the Black community in mind instead of just servicing the federal workforce. Now, yes, in this region, and I will talk about this in future videos in this series, the federal workforce is very much Black, but that's not always guaranteed. And there's things about the federal workforce we can't always depend on. But that literally is the next video in this series. I won't go too deep into like how the federal workforce and being part of the federal workforce and federal funding gets into things. But specifically, the Virginia parts, like what you saw when I put up the map from 1986, like that, those are the areas that were targeted. And then what was supposed to be serviced? Buses were servicing everything else. Now, this is DC's bus map. And by the way, yes, as you've heard, the rumors are true. The golden line on here is going away. And so we're going to lose some of that like intermediate bus service that's going to like cover gaps. And so here we are. This is Metro when they finally finished the Green Line. The first stations of the Green Line opened in 1991. The last ones opened in 2001. I am 38 years old. So the first stations of the Green Line opened when I was 5 years old, and the last stations opened when I was in high school. So anybody who's a millennial, and I know many of you are probably attracted to this channel because it's a fellow Black millennial talking about these issues, you probably did not grow up. You grew up with Metro not being in your neighborhood, or you grew up with Metro coming in, or it like being a troublesome thing, or if your parents were those upwardly mobile federal workforce people, or if they immigrated here to the States, to Prince George's County in this region to get a better life for themselves, they probably weren't banking on using Metro as public transportation because it wasn't set up for that. This is the cover of the Great Society Subway, available in my bookshop store. I promise this is, well, actually this is an affiliate link. So yeah, this is the one part, ad part of the video. So ad, please keep watching because you will want to read this book. You will want to read this book because this book goes into deep detail. You can start with a Wikipedia page on the Green Line of Metro, but you want to end with this book. I reference it a lot in the newsletter companion to this. This is one of my favorite nonfiction books. I mean, I still, even though I'm talking about Metro's flaws, the fact that Metro wasn't really there, and I can't blame families trying to survive because not everybody is a Fed here, which next video. But I can't blame them for not wanting to depend on Metro. I can't blame them in us being black folks in society and having to wait for things. Now, if you lived in the DMV, and yes, DC, Maryland, Virginia, that's the acronym. But Delaware, I'm not mad at you for showing up. West Virginia, you're in the census catchment area. Baltimore, at this point, the census considers us joint together. Another video that's coming in this series. But living in this region, and now that you see that this is the current map, and that part that is on the far right, that is Prince George's County, Maryland, at press time, that is a 1 million person county that only has 3 lines coming into it. Fairfax County on the Virginia side, also 1 million people, also only has a few lines coming into it. So much of this region is not on Metro. So much of this region is not on Metro Bus. This is why it's become a premium for those areas. Something that's supposed to be a public service, that's supposed to help the community, has now become a premium. And so here I am in my car filming this video in a Metro cherry blossom shirt, because as much as I love having this, it is barriers. Usually the only other time I drive is when I go to my yard night. A couple of the people that come to yard night do use public transportation. It does take them extra time. Sometimes they carry their stuff, like our yard supplies and everything. It's a little hard. And I got a note, we were in a group chat, and they were like, yeah, I'm stuck at the bus stop. Now, this is to say, I want to make it clear at this point in the video. Learning all of this, understanding all of this, yeah, there's a baby crying in the background. Yeah, sometimes I cry about how Metro doesn't exactly work for everybody, and how long it takes to build transit. And people say, okay, well, if you got to do NEPA, which is I believe the acronym, and I'm gonna murder it because I'm doing it off the top of my head right now. Urban planner friends, don't cancel me. I know it's the National Environmental, and I can't remember what the P and the A are, but it's part of the EPA. It's part of making sure that projects, instead of ruining neighborhoods, actually benefit the neighborhood. Like, this is why you're getting provisions where buildings that are built on not just DC Metro stations, but other like public transit stations have set asides for different minimum household income levels. This is a process commonly called inclusionary zoning. It is the real reason why we are able to live at the waterfront Metro. No cap, no lie there, that we would still be living in our old apartment. And honestly, sometimes I think about moving to another one that is bigger. I tend to manage the times I need to use this car. And at the end of this video, a very special person will be making a cameo appearance, and a very special rail car will be making an appearance. Anyway, so I wish that we had a better planning system. And now that I've been working and I've been writing about urban planning now for 14, we're coming up on the 14th year, going into the 15th year of doing this, a decade and a half, and then some. I and so many others don't have the power that we need to be able to make the kinds of urban planning changes that will get us equity. As of recording of this video, we're facing the fact that our agencies are so pressed about like collecting fare instead of pushing Congress, pushing our state governments, collecting taxes from billionaires. Like the site that starts with an A that could easily pay for Metro, just like they're paying for housing. They're doing all this affordable housing work, but they should subsidize Metro and a lot of these other organizations. The federal government does subsidize Metro. How they do it is, in addition to different stations being able to like get money, but each county in the region has to apply for that federal money. They also buy like fare cards for their workers. So our system was built and predicated on it meeting a big customer audience. I want to challenge every transit system to think beyond not having people pay for your system. I would love for us to not have to pay for our system forever. And I would love for it to just be written into our taxes. So before people were like, well, you gotta pay for the system. Not property taxes, sales taxes. Actually, let's start with property taxes. Taxes on multi-million-dollar businesses. There's a way to pay for it. And so these are the things I have learned over the years of being here. As I showed you before, the maps are imperfect. Thanks to redlining. And I'm going to put up this map by, and yeah, you know, they really broke out buildings. Now, this isn't to say that like currently a black person lives in a building or a white person or whatever, but this is kind of reflective of the most predominant person that you're most likely to encounter in that building, unless it's like a federal building. You know, that's like federal buildings, the White House, the Capitol, Pentagon, those buildings are great. Like it is. So they don't have a risk. But these other buildings and their occupants and these homes have a race. And so that's something to think about. Like the spatialness of racial classifications and why we say that even though race is a construct, it is a construct. It is still happening. It is still making a difference. And maybe federal. This is a major, like, they have a branch right here in this Pentagon, not Pentagon City is built behind me, but Potomac Yard parking lot. They were just caught last year, not approving mortgages for their mostly military. So you are serving your country in one of those valuations where so many military make their only choice because there's no other options to go and do fight our raggedy war. So, and then you're supposed to be able to come home and get a VA loan and be able to get a house. Guess what? Or your children are supposed to be able to come home and get a house from your service. And so we see, and this is a major bank in servicing. So you see like this, things like this happening. You know, I don't blame folks for not having the enthusiasm about Metro, but I still have it. And part of the reason I still have it is because if you think about crafting this map, and I'm using the colorful map, or even this one, on top of Raleigh, Charlotte, Greensboro, name any other mid-sized city in a state that you came from that doesn't have any transit coverage, or they have like Atlanta, well, a little harder in Atlanta, and then get all of their lives built, and they're trying to build those lives back in for years, and it's probably something another 20 years before they get there. That's a whole other generation. It's a whole other set of kids growing up. And so if we want to get serious about reducing carbon index, if we want to get serious about making sure Metro can work, we have to address these things. Now, one other thing is I want to shout out the Metro staff. I want to shout out our Metro GM. Here we are at an event last year that I'm so happy I got to meet him, and I do believe that he values the system. He does not drive at all, and he is in a position where he's negotiated. So I'm gonna live in this apartment where I don't need to drive at all. He runs, you know. I broke my foot this year. I think he sprained or broke his knees, whatever. Randy, if you're watching this, you can clarify in the comments or have somebody clarify in the comments what happened to you. But you having to use the system helps. We know this. You caring and loving the system helps. Me loving the system helps. And so with that, now you'll see some of the things I've really learned about Metro. And in a future video, I'm going to talk more about how to make Metro work for your advantage. Because say you want to live on the ends, living on the ends of Metro may actually be a better situation for you than moving to a cheaper city. Because you still will benefit from having the Metro. And Metro's pretty rapid now. It's pretty fast. The trains come. And as long as Metro stays funded, which we're trying to get that to happen at the time of this video. If Metro stays funded, you got that going for you. If you like flying places and going to the airport, you got that going for you. Because you can get to every airport pretty much. And now, to go to BWI, you have to take Metro to Union Station, and then you get on the MARC train, and then a bus picks you up from the MARC train. But still, public transit can get you in this region. So that's an advantage. That's one thing I've learned. Public transit to the airport absolutely works. The Metro bus, Capital Bike Share, we have all these things. They've created this wonderful tapestry of transit that is here that I've not seen, and we're still working on, and we're still advocating for in North Carolina. This video is coming out ahead of the Week Without Driving. Not everybody can even do this. And I love that here in this region, it don't matter if you got a car or not. It doesn't. Like, and I'm getting real with y'all. It does not matter if you have a car or not. You could be like very wealthy and not even need to touch a car. The head of the transit agency rides the train, and he's getting paid pretty good. I've seen his salary. He's getting paid pretty good. He's a wealthy man. He don't even have to ride his system, but he wants to. And a lot of wealthy people, poor people, middle class people, people of all ages, creeds, and colors ride the system. Now yes, you may have friends that complain about riding Metro. There are things to complain about riding Metro, but the fact that it exists is one of the things, the number one thing I love about living in this region. It's one thing that is kind of keeping me here. I'm considering other places, but I wish I could pack up Metro and take her with me. And yes, she's a girl. And yes, I love the voice of Metro. She's a non-conforming individual with a feminine but husky voice. So with that, let me go do a little shopping here, and we gonna end this video in a very, very special place, in a very, very special way to celebrate Metro and its role here in this region, and how much I love it, and how it's been of this series of like the 8 things I've learned and learned about this region. I've learned about Metro and how Metro really works, but I still love it. Well, we made it to the Metro bar, as you saw in the earlier shot, in this shadow of the very first station. So yes, if you want to come back for the next video where I talk about like how the government runs everything in DC, in the meantime, like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so that you can get the next video. Until next time.